Welcome to Greenable Woodbridge. I am your host, Carolyn Ehrlich. Today's guest is George Brew, who is our Director of Public Works. Public Works covers all kinds of things from parks to snow plowing, but one of the great things that Public Works does, and that's going to be our topic for today, is recycling. And it is so important. George, can you tell us why it is so important and what benefits we get?
So, we started the recycling program, in Woodbridge. Well, we followed the county mandates, and this goes back, I've been here since 1988, probably since that time, very early 90s, we really started implementing it, where we used to, we had the square totes and the round buckets one for cardboard and newspaper and recycling, but that, let's just say, got us into the 90s. So we started recycling back then. And it is very important. The amount of material we keep out of the landfill, we go to Edgeboro landfill. We don't know how long Edgeboro is going to be able to sustain doing what they're doing. But it's all material that doesn't really go into the landfill, that shouldn't be in the landfill. So, it's important. We've always taken it seriously. Years ago we used to do our own in-house sorting. We had a program that involved so we worked with the Department of Corrections, and we would get prisoners on work release, and they would come, and we had our own sorting system right at our KSB complex.
That was so cool.
Bottles, cans, cardboard, we self-sorted at that time.
If you had something that blew the plastic somewhere and separated all the pieces.
And literally it was kind of like an assembly line, and we'd utilize corrections people, and they would physically sort the line. It just became so expensive, not cost effective to keep doing it that way. Right. And at that time we started to switch over to single stream recycling versus, dual stream with the separating cardboard. And now single stream, we send it to one facility and they sort it.
Which is much easier.
It's much easier on us, and it's more effective.
It definitely
it's a cleaner,
is.
Cleaner product.
And we save money.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we certainly do.
Every time we go to the landfill, that's a county landfill, and they charge us a lot of money for each dump. And I know our trucks, the less they have to go there, because it's a pretty dangerous place.
Right.
The less money, it saves us money too.
Yeah, and years ago, the way we did it, we had a driver and two lifters on the truck. So you had two guys on the back of the truck, and they were picking up those blue totes, them small square and round ones we had, and they loaded into truck, and one day was bottles and cans, one day was cardboard. It just didn't really make sense.
Right.
And single stream, the can is cart's out in front of your house. It's a neat look. There's not debris blowing all over the place. So it really is a much better product, and it's definitely better for the residents.
Right.
It's easier.
People bought right into it.
Yeah.
So it is very important, though, to make sure you're recycling the right stuff and not the wrong stuff. So let's talk a little bit about what's right and what's wrong.
Yeah. So, I think the simpler we keep it, the better. Right? So if we do, bottles, cans, cardboard, we have a list that's in our calendar of what, should and should not go into the can. And our best messages to people is, if you have to think about it, then it probably doesn't, it's not recyclable. There's different labels, there's different markings on certain plastics. If
but
you have to think about it,
right.
Like bakery packaging, those soft plastic things that you get, donuts and things like that, it's not recyclable. So, in the garbage it goes. Keep to the basics, and when we get to the facility, our product is better, and it's not, it's not mixed in. And one of the other problems we really have, and we're trying to clean up our recycling products, people putting things, garden hoses or yard waste. Yard waste does not go in the blue can. It's not recyclable. Where we think it's recyclable, it's, there's a whole nother way of dealing with yard waste products and things like that. For the most part, a lot of those just go right in the regular trash. But, trying to keep it without contaminating the load on the truck. An example, we had a truck went on fire. It was in the Port Reading section. We had to dump the load because the load was burning inside the truck. And when we pushed the load out of the truck, there was propane cylinders in there,
Oh
like
my gosh.
camping style, these little camping propane.
Oh, for God's sake.
And maybe that's recyclable back at the facility they came from, but it doesn't. And
Doesn't work
literally,
well.
the load in the truck was on fire. So fire department, all resources were involved, and then the product we had to send to the landfill
whole-
anyway because the whole load
Wasted
was
the whole thing.
contaminated.
The other thing you don't want to do, the worst thing, is probably the lithium batteries.
Yeah, exactly,
Another fire starter.
exactly.
Right.
So the simpler we keep it, the better off it is.
A couple of questions that people ask me.
Sure.
So, you could jars and cartons, milk cartons. How clean do they have to be?
A quick rinse.
Okay.
Get the bulk out of it. A quick rinse, and it can go in a thing. Obviously not a half a jar of mayonnaise, but if you give it a quick rinse out and
That's it.
and put it in there, it's fine. You don't have to sit there with a bottle scrubber and clean it.
Put it in the dishwasher.
But
Yeah.
but definitely rinse it out.
Okay, that's a lot easier because it used to be had to be really clean, but now it's okay.
And then as far as cardboard, with simple box cutter, we all get Amazon and all these things come. Just cut that tape on the bottom of the box and fold it. Now you can fit a lot more inside the cart. They're
Right.
95-gallon carts, but you need to have, the more you get in it, the better, and it just makes for much cleaner
And if you can
product.
fit the box in, can you just put the box in the
Yeah.
blue thing? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
sure.
what I do a lot.
Again, let's keep it as simple as
Yep.
possible.
Yep.
That's really the message.
Another question that I get is, it's almost like it's a controversy because people say different things on the plastic bottles. Leave the cap on or off?
If I had, leave the cap off.
Okay.
Throw the cap in the garbage and just put the milk carton or whatever it is. Yeah.
Okay. And then the other item, so the best thing you can do is, I think, is the cloth bag, because that you can rewash and keep using. Some of the stores, like ShopRite, gives you this weird kind of bag. I don't know what material it is, and they say on it, use it 125 times. I don't know who's going to use it 125 times. But what happens to those bags after you say, okay, I'm not using this one anymore? Does that go to the landfill?
It essentially go to landfill, or we'll take it back. Or I should say the food stores will take it back.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
But I think, I just look at our household. I buy a good bag. I buy the insulated ones, right? So everything can go in that bag. You can wipe the bag. I don't have to worry about it washing. Put it in a washing machine or something like that. Just wipe it out, and they last forever. If you buy a good bag, you don't need a trunk load of garbage, of store bag. Just a half a dozen will do it. So that's. And I'm really not sure about what they make the ones that they sell in the ShopRites and things like that.
So,
but you go to Costco, and we've gotten around with no bags forever, right? You go to Costco, you put stuff in the trunk of your car, you bring it to your house. It's not, it's not earth shattering.
right, exactly. So let's talk about the convenience center.
Good
So
topic.
what do you? Yeah.
So. We bring in a lot of material to convenience center. We've recently, I'm going to say within the last 4 years or so, 3 years, we started separating all the material that comes in. People drop off, washer machines and all different types of appliances and some heavier metals, and we sort it all now. So, we'll have 1 or 2 guys down there, and on their off time, they'll start disassembling electric motors. They cut the cords off of all these appliances that come. We put that in a separate bucket. And then we send it to one of our metal scrap yards, but it's all sorted. So we have aluminum, we have copper, electric motors, and it's a revenue source for us. It's not a huge revenue source, but when we look at our own operation as well with, the types of metal that we deal with truck parts and things like that, we generate about $40,000 a year.
Wow.
On the lower scale. Since we've done it. There was 1 year we did up to $70,000 in revenue. And again, we used to pay someone to take that material. Now we're spending a little time sorting it, but it's getting to the proper facility, and they handle it the right way. Where before we'd either pay for a truckload, or if we did get paid for the load, it would be a minimal, what they call dirty iron or dirty scrap. So now, by us sorting, especially the aluminum and the coppers, it's a big benefit. And I think our residents, on a Saturday, we could have a pretty long line down there.
There, let's just define where there is at DPW
right, yeah.
in
So
Caseby.
it's our DPW complex in Caseby. And we really have changed things around. We put a few more personnel there, especially on a Saturday, to help direct people and assist people, because it can get a little confusing. But, other than just being a bulk drop-off, it really is a convenience center. And then, some people come and say, I have some good items, and we have the reuse it center. So that goes into another area. And we sort that, and if it's good, we put it in the reuse it center. And then other people come in, they find something they like, a good table or piece of equipment. Sometimes there's gardening equipment or outdoor power equipment. People will take it. They sign their address that they took it, and so it's not even going into a landfill or recycling facility.
It's toys, it's bicycles, whatever somebody.
A lot of bicycles.
Right.
And the people that come here, they really like going through it and finding some type of.
It's reuse.
One man's junk is another man's treasure. So.
Exactly. So this is not recycling. This is reuse.
Yes, reuse. Exactly.
And so it's recycle, reuse, and that is just so good. Another thing I think that you recycle is also styrofoam. Yeah.
So. 2 other things, and again, it's in the last 3 to 4 years. We do styrofoam recycling. So we have totes down there, and a lot of people bring cardboard to us, which is something else we've done. So the styrofoam comes in, we load it in a bin. We have a machine that we got under a grant money through the county, and what the machine does, it melts down the styrofoam, so we have it's a huge bag. They put it in the machine, and it melts it, and it comes out, and it looks like a piece of rope. It's about 2.5 inches, and it flows out of the machine. We palletize it, and we build enough of it, and it's amazing how that big tote will make a small piece of rope, where it's this big out of a whole bag. So we palletize that, and then we send it to a facility. I think they're in Boundbrook or Somerset, and this company makes plastic molding.
Interesting.
So this company, they take all that styrofoam and they process it, and then they make plastic molding. And I think their big commodity is, believe it or not, cruise ships. They're somehow affiliated with one of the cruise ship lines, and they make moldings for ships. So
You never know.
And it, look, it's not a massive machine. It's the effort's minimal, and it's a great product going out of there. And then going back to that, why we get a lot of styrofoam is the cardboard. So we recently got a cardboard compactor, and we do get a lot of cardboard at our Caseby facility, and where we used to haul cardboard every day over to the recycling center facility that we deal with, it gets compacted, and we probably move it once every 3 weeks.
Wow.
So that's another big bonus for us. The truck is not going into, that's one less thing that truck is doing, and it's less time on the road, it's less wear and tear. And again, we have a very good product. That's a 100% clean product, the cardboard.
That is
it doesn't bale it, but it just compacts it, and then we send it to the facility, they bale it, and they send it out. So that's another big bonus down there.
Okay, so let's start talking about food waste. We started a food waste program in our schools, which has been very successful. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we started, 2018, I'm going to say, we started a food waste program in the schools. And, what we do is we have separate containers in all the lunchrooms, and all the food scraps from the tables, the half-eaten apples and all that stuff goes into separate cans, and then we pick it up daily. Every morning our sanitation department goes around and picks it up, and we do about a half a ton to a ton a day. So
It's a lot.
With all the schools, it is a lot. And and again, that's another thing that's not going into the landfill. And that's a very interesting process. We send it to we partnered up with Waste Management on this, and they have a facility in Elizabeth called Core. They take all the food waste, and they make a slurry out of it. I think you and I, we did a tour of this years ago, right? So, which we should do another tour of it, just to, but it's an amazing facility. It doesn't, you would think with all the food waste, there'd be horrific odors.
Wasn't that bad?
The way they process it, it's not. But anyway, they take that food waste and they make a slurry out of it. They send it to a sewage treatment authority, and they use it in a treatment plant, and they make a biogas out of it. So it's a very
it's fantastic.
It's, to me, it's rocket science.
Yes.
Because I don't understand the whole concept of how it works, but it really is. Just another thing, and we just started doing this. We're going to do it as a voluntary basis with residential.
This is the big news that we have on this show today, is that you can volunteer to separate your food waste out, and I think you got a bucket here?
Yeah, so, that's the highlight of today, right? So, we have some flyers, and we created a drop-off center at our Caseby facility.
And we're thinking about doing one at Acacia, too?
And we're looking to do one also at the Acacia Center in Port Reading. So what we're doing is you sign up for the program, and we give you just a simple blue bucket, with a little sticker on there that highlights it. And, you can fit quite a bit of food in this bucket. So, I have to practice what I preach, right? So, I started doing this at home, and I have a little can I keep right on my counter. We put all the, a lot of vegetables and things like that, all our cuts. Put it in the bag here, and once a week I drop the bag off. It's convenient for me because I'm going to the facility every day. But we're getting a pretty good interest on it right now.
That's terrific, and all volunteer.
Yeah, and I think it has to be volunteer. It has to be something that you feel good about, something you want to do. If you don't want to do it, people are not going to do it, and they're not going to be passionate enough to have keep the product clean.
And one of my mottos has always been buy in, not push back. If we tell people you have to do it, it'll just start a storm. But if this is something you want, and a lot of people have asked for this service, I want to recycle my food, how do I do it?
Right.
And now there is a way, wherever you live in town, you can get one of these blue, and we're thinking probably when we start with the summer, the farmers market, we'll probably have an area there where you can bring it. And,
and this is a pilot program, for us, so it's not something we're going to mandate, but I think it is good, and we're seeing folks start to participate and they want to do it. So we're doing some outreach, and Casey's not the most convenient place to go to.
That's why we're talking about trying to get some other places.
Acacia Center, it would be a good spot. And then again, we proper signage, and the people that really want to do it, because they're not going to put, they're not going to bring their household garbage and just throw it. It's a sealed container, green container. It's very specific for food waste. It's not a regular garbage can or cart, so it's specific for food waste. So, the idea is get people, and they come, and they should be able to, be self-sufficient on this. That's the way I'd like to see it happen. And, we give you a plastic bag, so when you drop off, we give you a fresh bag. When it gets to the facility core in Elizabeth Waste Management, small plastic bags are not an issue. The machine pulverizes the material so much that it doesn't really snarl up or cause any issues with the at the facility. So we'll give you a bucket, we give you the bag, and then
And if you put it in the bucket, it's not going to smell?
No, you put the lid on. You put the bag inside, right? And then, the bag fits in a bucket. So the bag will keep the inside of the bucket clean. And then, if you have something leak, you just hose it out. It's a plastic bucket, It's basically a paint bucket.
That is great.
So
we're going to watch more and more people do it. And then another alternative for your food waste is the backyard composting. We have a few more minutes. You want to explain how that works?
Yeah, so, one of our things, we do with the outreach is, Public Lands Day, Earth Day, any of the community outreaches we do, but I know during Earth Day, we usually raffle off a few backyard composters. Audrey's a big fan of it, and we auction, or we raffle them off, and people do it at home. I haven't done it yet, although Audrey breaks my chops, says I have such a clean product, I should start doing it. So, this year I probably will do it, just make it a little easier.
So you pretty much do the same thing?
Yeah, so you mix some, I'm not an expert on that, but you make, you throw some yard clippings, some leaves, some sticks, and things like that, and then it breaks down over time, and then you wind up with compost, so you can put it around your garden, or, within your flowers or whatever.
That's fantastic. It's another great use.
Yeah.
So we have a few minutes left, and I see you brought the recycling calendar, which is a masterpiece. Everybody in town has one.
Yep. So, so our recycling calendar every year, we try a different theme. Samantha Gurity that works with me, she's my assistant up there, right? and she's very
great.
She really does an amazing job with this calendar. I mean, there's so many facts, and that's why she went with the, the myth versus fact on this, for this theme. And, she tries to keep, or we all try and keep it, something interesting. You get some younger, elementary school kids, these are the people that we need to get to start to think about recycling, and they're the push, right? So, it does work, but the calendar's full of so much information. Like I'll get a phone call. Frequently we get phone calls. What about this? When do my leaves go out? When the Christmas trees go out? I keep one on my desk because I can't keep track of it myself.
Right.
But it's all here, and and all the things that you can do and can't do. Like we talked about earlier, getting a cleaner recycling product on your, when you put your card out, the stuff to put in and not put in,
That's fantastic.
It's all here.
It's all there.
And, and it's got all the holidays, when we pick up, because people get confused, different holidays. My section of town, our recycling's always pushed out to Saturday when there's a holiday, like this week, for instance. So it does... have a lot of it talks about yard waste, mowing, recycling your grass clippings, which is another huge thing.
That is huge, and there's no reason not to.
No,
Your lawn is better with it if you just leave them.
I'm not a big gardener, but my lawn is, I'm pretty passionate about my lawn. I like a nice green lawn. I put, I never bag my grass ever. I have a good recycling machine. I spent a few bucks on that, and and the same thing with leaves. I take all my leaves, I don't have a lot of trees, but all my, neighbors' leaves, I blow it all out into the middle of my lawn, and I recycle it with the mower. I never use a leaf bag. Not one, I'm passionate about it. I don't want to use one.
Right.
So, that's just another thing. There's a lot of good tips for leaf recycling, grass recycling, which is huge. We get so much grass in the landfill that's not necessary, and that adds to our tonnage. So that does cost us more money.
Yep. A lot.
Our summer tonnage, we see a big increase in the landfill. So
yeah, if we could get everybody to do that, that would be wonderful. But we can't.
Again, the calendar, we do put a lot of effort into it. It's
it's a masterpiece.
And it's there is so much good information in there. So if people. It's funny, this time of year we'll get a lot of phone calls. People want the calendar, and that makes me feel good because that means they are reading it. But you'll get someone and they'll say, "Well, did you look in the calendar when you can get your special bulk pickups and that?" I didn't see the calendar, so we mail them another one, or someone, myself or someone recycling, will just drop one off at their house, and then they get the information that's in there. So
it's so perfect. So this has been very informative and great, and I appreciate that you found the time to come and talk to me and everybody.
Well, it's what we do, right? It's all, whether it's sanitation department, road department, these are all functions of what we do in public works. So it's important to spend the time and
get the word out.
And then people understand a little better.
Well, thank you. Hopefully people are watching this and more people will recycle their food and leave their grass and leave their leaves.
Absolutely. That's a big thing. The grass and leaves is very important.
Yep. So
makes for a great lawn, too. I'm not saying I have the best lawn on the block, but I have the best lawn on the block.
So thank you. Thank you, everybody, for watching Greenable Woodbridge with me and George Brew. And thank you for being part of the excitement and part of the change.